Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. Due to popular demand, I'm going to review the entirety of my portfolio and my thinking behind the projects that I pick and my general thinking for the entirety of the portfolio, a top-down view of everything. So you can see my portfolios over here, but before I dive into it, I'm just going to go into more general terms, and then I'm going to go into some of the best decisions I've made and the thoughts I had at the time, according to my memory, when I made those decisions and the way I was thinking when I made those decisions. So what makes a good investment in general? This is my mind where it is right now and the way I think right now. So what makes a good investment? It's a strong team with a proven track record. They understand and care about their investors. They have demonstrations of empathy and they show their ability to care. Hey, these guys gave us money. And so we should, honor that hidden contract, that idea that if these people gave us money, they want something in return. I know that the U.S. is a very oppressive place and they don't want people to be wealthy, but this is the only way for people to get wealthy is for them to understand that the people that gave us money want a return. And it's kind of draconian the way the United States operates in that they don't want anyone to have this opportunity. Like they have these, oppressive laws where they try to stop anyone from succeeding in life. I can go on a tangent there, but that is a hidden contract that you should understand, that the team demonstrates to you with enough of a belief that they understand that the reason you're even involved with this is because you want a return. You want it to go up in price and to make your life better. You are giving them your money for the time by buying their token or whatever. But remember, everything in my channel is not investment advice, especially for the U.S. Okay. So the token model is another approach I take is the token model should look like physics. If the business does good, then the upward pressure should grow for the token price. So it should just be like simple physics. If the business does good, then the demand on the token, the up pressure grows. So the token has to be designed in such a way so that if the business is successful, it will realize an upward pressure. Okay, and the third thing that I look for in a project is that it fills a required need in the market. It fills a valuable service. So that means there's a valid market. There's a valid need for this business to exist. Okay, so if you have these three things, the odds are pretty likely that you will be successful, in my opinion. So some of my past wins. So I invested in Bitcoin when it was 120. I invested in Ethereum when it was $10, and I invested in Celsius when it was 6 cents. So why did I invest in Bitcoin when it was 120? Remember, at the time, people thought Bitcoin was a joke. They thought it was stupid, whatever. Tulip bubbles, and that's been a constant narrative, and it was claimed to be junk at the time. But I knew digital scarcity was a major breakthrough. I knew that having digital scarcity, before I even heard about Bitcoin, I didn't even know that this was not a problem. And I never gave it any thought. But once I read some things on Bitcoin, I could sense from the enthusiasm of those that were involved that there was something real going on here. So I dove deeper and I realized digital scarcity had never happened before, and that is what was invented. And so my mind began to race. I understood that that was a major breakthrough. And so that's why I participated. So why did I invest in Ethereum? When I started investing in Ethereum, there was only Bitcoin maximalists. There was no one else hardly talking about any other projects. Everything else was junk. But those Bitcoin maximalists were saying, oh, this is stupid, only Bitcoin, right? But I knew computational demand would create token demand. I knew that you would want your derivatives, you would want your value tokens such as Bitcoin to be able to do things, to be employed to work, to make you interest, or to do other things of the nature. So I knew, and I also still operate, and this is a belief that I was looking for at the time, and I still believe this today. I believe that we're yet to see this, but it will happen. I believe there will be a black hole of financial value, where someone will make something like where it just absorbs all the value of the world. And in a general sense, I think that's what crypto is in a general sense. I used to believe it was kind of an individual project maybe, but now I'm vaguely believing that crypto is the black hole. All of the crypto space is the black hole that will absorb all the world's wealth. But at the time, I was thinking it would just be like an individual project. But my worldview changes as I grow and understand more. But that's the reason I invested in Ethereum. So why did I invest and sell at 6 cents? Well, because I knew the CEO. When I looked at him, he's a beast of a human. He's insanely successful, insanely capable, the inventor of voice over IP, and the token model matched growing of the users in the map. The token model was great. The token model is that if you own the token, you get higher returns, and it simply said, yeah, if you own the token, it gives you higher returns, and it was encouraging a hodler community, those who hold the tokens for the long term. So the token had a very valuable market value in that you hold these tokens and it gives you higher returns. I mean, that's a simple value proposition. And I also knew that people were misjudging its true value because a lot of people had a problem with it being centralized. Centralization could make you a lot of money. It doesn't matter if it's centralized or decentralized. The only threat with centralization is that government could come shut it down. But this company was cooperating with regulators, and they have that real desire to bring wealth to the people involved. So I knew that people's blindness with centralization, believing nothing that's centralized can go up, was another reason why, because everybody in crypto is like obsessed with decentralization. In me, I'm obsessed with results. That's the bottom line for me. And so that was another reason. Decentralization doesn't mean a project's not going to be successful, because it could have good leaders or good management, and it could navigate that landscape in a good way. Hell, Celsius proved I was right. Okay, so this is the view of my portfolio. 80%. You can see that 80% of my portfolio exists right here in these few projects, and then there's another 10%, and then there's another 10%. So you can see it's very divided, and you can see this is very thinly here with the high risk projects. I don't put a lot into high risk projects because they could go to zero. But you can see Celsius makes up the largest position, and it was not that way. I didn't buy that much Celsius. In fact, when I bought Celsius, it was right here in my portfolio. It was around this percentage, but it's a massive performance, moved it all the way to the top, and I have taken profits. But I've sold about a third of my position. I'll if it performs extremely well in the future, I'll do it some more. But I continue to hold on to it because I believe in the team, and I believe it hasn't reached its true potential. I'm mostly a holder, a hodler. That is mostly my strategy. Once again, Ethereum wasn't this high up when I first bought it, but that's where it is now. And I just mostly hold on to most of it. And I was taking a lot from Ethereum when I would do alternative investments, but I don't do much of that anymore because I think Ethereum is way undervalued. You can see DOT up here as well, and then you can see I have USD. So these are 80. This is 80% of my portfolio. It's majority of my portfolio. And then the alts. This is what I consider my savings. Bitcoin and silver. I consider that my savings. The old world and the new world. And silver is significantly undervalued, and this is in fact where I am moving my profits from Celsius into silver. I am continually going to add to Bitcoin after alt season. I'm mostly into the alts right now because we're in a bull market, and I believe that the alts are going to perform quite strongly. In fact, Bitcoin used to be a majority of my portfolio when I first bought it back here, but I only added a little bits to it over time. And because I realize Ethereum hasn't realized its true potential. But we'll see, if I trade more into Bitcoin in the future. But, this is where I am now. I'm mostly a holder. I'm a fundamental person. I don't trade a lot. I just hold on for the long run. Okay, so you can see more of my projects. So I'm going to dive into my thinking. Now, what I did is I went to each project and I said, what comes to my mind first when I think about this project so that you'll get an overview of each project? So when I first bought Celsius, I just bought it because it had an excellent token model and a beast of a CEO. But now I'm starting to think Celsius is kind of like the new world, like a new bank, a new crypto bank. I think they are going to be as big as the current banks in the world. They're going to be quite massive. And because the reason I believe that is the community and the CEO, and they're just a beast of a project. When you have that much talent as your leader, they can navigate the regulatory environment and they can capture a significant amount of market. So I think Celsius is going to be the world, like one of the world's banks, and it manages people's funds for them so that you can have sophisticated security. They have a very sophisticated security process so that those who are not technical enough, they can just have Celsius manage their funds for them. And there's people like me who are more technical. I can actually store it without being on Celsius, but I understand the dire need for a simple solution that's highly secure for storing your funds. So for Ethereum, my thoughts that first came to me was first, trust computer. It's the first one to capture that market. And so that's where everyone is. That's where all the talent is, all the engineers and stuff and people. They're on that Ethereum network. Now, Polkadot, very related to Ethereum. In fact, this project, I believe, will make all of crypto more valuable. It is the internet of finance. It is also the key infrastructure. So I'm taking this wild risk with Polkadot, and I'm fine with that because I'm a risk investor, especially when I'm as confident. I could be very confident, but I could be very wrong. But I am, I'm still young, and I like to go risk on these type of things. And given where this project is, that's why I decided to put that amount of funds in there. I just see Polkadot as being a key infrastructure play. Now, what do I see for the dollar? I see the dollar as being a faulty contract between people and the state. In the past, these were contracts for gold. But right now, that contract, when they left the gold standard, I don't think society understood what happened. The contract was invalid. So now it's kind of a general contract with that. This will hold value. That is the contract that you're entering with the state. And the state's incentive is not to honor the contract. It is, in fact, the state's incentive to dishonor that contract. And that is exactly what it's doing. So that's what I see the dollar as, a faulty contract. Bitcoin and silver is the new world savings account and the old world savings account. Silver is its gold to the silver to gold ratio is historically high for most of human history. So that's why that's my savings rather than gold. And Bitcoin is the new digital gold, and so I am thinking of it in the same way. And this roughly will be 10% when this bull market is over. When we're in the depths of the alts, which is not even close in my opinion, I will have roughly 5% in each of these, or maybe even a little more. I will rebalance to that. Luxo, I think of this as the innovator, the ERC20 CEO, guy who invented the ERC20 standard. I think of him as being kind of like the Celsius CEO because he's an innovator. And so the good results will likely come simply from the fact that they have an innovator. Kusama, Polkadot's Pitbull, it is the project that goes and seeks out the usability of projects on Polkadot and make sure that they're safe for Polkadot. Wax has an intelligent CEO, and it has a good use case, and it has a scalable blockchain. So I invested in that. The people involved with that are skilled, so that's one of the reasons I invested in that. Swap, escrow contract services, and an excellent CEO. That's why I invested in that one. Privacy infrastructure is Fala. I would not invest in Monero because it depends on centralized exchanges. Privacy will not be successful if it's dependent on centralized exchanges. Governments are the enemy of privacy. So the only system of privacy that will ever be successful is something that operates completely in a decentralized environment. So I do not invest in privacy that is centralized. I only invest in privacy that is fully decentralized. And that's what Fala will be. Monero will have to connect to DEXs. It will have to connect to a Polkadot or one of those projects to be successful. Otherwise, it will die. And in my opinion, it will. I know that might trigger some people, but I don't think a project like Monero will survive if they have to exist on centralized exchanges to be traded. It just won't happen unless they can find a way to be on decentralized exchanges, because governments are going to are going to harass and destroy anything that is private to the best of their ability. PCAX is a bridge to the finance. It's a bridge to Polkadot. It is going to be that that bridge for the internet, the future financial internet. This is file sharing. It's a project that I started getting interested in, and I'm starting to buy it. This one is leveraging anything. Leverage trading anything on Ethereum. That's what this one is, and so I find that to be a valuable project. Doc, consumer or professional data markets, Anchor, developer services, Yield. Well, Wi-Fi is Yield. So you have a decentralized yield aggregator, and you have Stake, which is scaling Ethereum. Hopefully, for lack of better words, that this needs to happen. We need to scale Ethereum. I'm actually kind of angry about it. Ethereum is too expensive and it's unusable for the average person. That is not liberating, and Ethereum needs to figure its crap out about scaling. Okay, so unique approach is HBAR, token loyalty bridge ring. By the way, this one is I like this project. I think it's under the radar, but I just hodl on. Okay, so Parsec is automatic actions from the blockchain data. This is an experienced team. They've already experienced success in energy saving markets. Ocean data market. KDA is in proof of work scaling. Is proof of work approach going to be the smart contract layer? I don't know, but I took that risk, and it didn't turn out so well. But I'll just keep hodling onto it because I actually had a higher amount than this. But that's the way it is. That's why these are so small, right? This one is user experience, and these are just some of the EOS ecosystem projects that I think are, high risk, potentially a high return. Okay, so that is my portfolio. As you can see, majority is here, a little more here, and then quite a bit here. And once again, the reason we do this is because one of these projects might succeed and the rest might fail. That's fine, and you will see a massive benefit if it does. So, if one of these becomes like, Swap, if Swap takes off and becomes a beast like Celsius, well, it'll be up here too with my portfolio, and these guys will rebalance out, and it'll be hanging up in the winner's crowd. And the others could fail, and I'll still have a massive profit from it. Because once again, Celsius was right here, and so it's 100x since I bought it. So that's why I invest like this. Okay, so here's just something that I put together to show some of my track record. Back in the day when I was closing my savings account and going full crypto, I was talking to the banker, and she could tell that I was excited about things. And she's, oh, why are you so excited? And so, we were talking about the future and how everything's going to change. And I sent her this email about Ethereum. I sent her this, I was saying Ethereum's going to change the world. And if she had paid attention to me, she would have never probably been able to get financial freedom. And once again, if you follow my channel, since I recommended Celsius, it's been 15x since I did, but I will seek for the best of my ability to bring those 100xers to my channel so that I could help, not investment advice though. This is not investment advice. I want to put out my 100xers as a proof that I've done it so that others can say, hey, maybe I can take a shot too. But hey, it's big boy pants. You got to be on your own on this. I am not your financial advisor. All of these could be a failure. But yes, that is my portfolio. That is my strategy, a general peering into my mind. Good luck out there. And we are starting to enter the exciting times of crypto. So welcome aboard if you're new. And please like and subscribe if you are interested in more content like this.